Nobody saw this coming, not even the people standing right there when everything exploded. What started as a quiet, almost routine gathering turned into one of the most uncomfortable, jaw-dropping moments in love and hip-hop Atlanta history. And at the center of it all? Scrappy, caught completely off guard, caught slipping in a way nobody could have predicted. You can picture it. The tension was already sitting in the air, thick and uneasy, like something was waiting to break. Brittany was right there, watching closely, trying to keep her composure. But then Shakira walked in, and everything changed. There was no warning, no build-up, just a sudden shift in energy that made everyone in the room freeze. Eyes locked, conversation stopped, and before anyone could step in or calm things down, Shakira went straight for Scrappy with questions he clearly wasn't ready to answer. Fans are shocked because this wasn't just another argument. This felt personal, deeply personal. Voices started rising, accusations flew, and Scrappy? He looked like a man who knew he had just been exposed in real time. Brittany's face said it all. Confusion, hurt, and then something even worse, realization. Emotions ran high as the situation spiraled out of control, and what was supposed to be a simple moment quickly turned into a full-blown confrontation that left everyone stunned. Nobody knew whose side to take. Nobody knew what the truth really was. But one thing was clear. This was no misunderstanding. This was something much bigger. And by the time it was over, relationships were shaken, trust was broken, and the entire room was left in silence, trying to process what they had just witnessed. The moment Shakira stepped forward, the entire room shifted in a way nobody could ignore. Scrappy tried to play it cool at first, leaning back like none of it bothered him, but his eyes gave him away. He knew exactly why she was there. Brittany stood just a few feet away, arms crossed, her gaze moving between them like she was trying to piece together a story nobody had told her yet. Shakira did not waste time. So you really gonna act like you don't know why I'm here? Her voice cut through the silence, sharp and steady. Scrappy let out a short laugh, the kind that sounded forced. I don't know what you talking about. You coming in here loud for no reason. Fans are shocked because right then, the tension went from uncomfortable to explosive. You could see people in the background stepping back, whispering, already sensing that this was about to turn into something messy. Shakira shook her head slowly, stepping even closer. No, don't do that. Don't sit here and pretend like you ain't been calling me, texting me, making promises like she don't exist. She glanced at Brittany, and that one look was enough to set everything off. Brittany's face tightened. Hold on, what is she talking about? Scrappy sat up straight now, his tone shifting. She reaching. That's what she doing. You know how people be, but Shakira wasn't backing down. Nah, I got receipts. You told me you was done. You told me she was just someone you had history with. Don't switch it up now just because she's standing here. Emotions ran high as Brittany stepped forward, her voice shaking but loud. Scrappy, you better say something real right now. For a moment, Scrappy hesitated. That silence spoke louder than anything he could have said. It ain't even like that, he muttered finally, avoiding both of their eyes. That was all it took. Brittany laughed, but there was no humor in it. It ain't like what? Because right now, it look exactly how she's saying it is. The family was left divided as friends began picking sides without even realizing it. Some were whispering that Shakira was doing too much, others were saying Brittany deserved to know the truth, and a few were quietly watching Scrappy unravel in real time. Shakira crossed her arms, her expression turning colder. You really gonna lie in front of her? After everything you said to me? Scrappy stood up abruptly, trying to regain control. I'm not lying. You just twisting things. Yeah, we talked, but it wasn't serious. Not serious? Shakira snapped, her voice rising. You was at my place at 2 in the morning talking about building something real. The room reacted instantly. Gasps, murmurs, people turning their heads to look at Brittany. Brittany's eyes filled with tears, but she refused to let them fall. 2 in the morning? Scrappy ran his hands over his face, frustration clear. Man, it wasn't like that. We was just talking. Stop saying that, Brittany shouted, stepping closer to him now. You keep saying it wasn't like that, but you not saying what it was. Fans are shocked because Scrappy, for once, had no smooth answer. No quick excuse. He was stuck between two truths colliding at the worst possible moment. Shakira pulled out her phone slowly. You want me to read the messages? Because I will. That changed everything. Scrappy's tone dropped immediately. You doing too much now. Oh, now I'm doing too much? She shot back. But when you was blowing up my phone, I wasn't doing too much then? Brittany stepped back, shaking her head, the weight of it all hitting her at once. This is crazy. This is actually crazy. Her voice softened, but it carried more pain than anything else in the room. How long? Scrappy looked at her, finally meeting her eyes. It wasn't like that, I swear. How long? She repeated, louder this time. He didn't answer. That silence felt endless. Shakira exhaled slowly, almost like she was tired of carrying the truth alone. Months. Brittany closed her eyes for a second, as if she was trying to hold herself together. When she opened them again, something had changed. The hurt was still there, but now it was mixed with anger. You embarrassed me, she said quietly. Scrappy stepped toward her. Nah, it's not like that, don't say that. She stepped back immediately. Don't come close to me right now. The room was completely still. Nobody wanted to interrupt what was unfolding, but nobody could look away either. Emotions ran high as voices started overlapping again. Shakira explaining her side, Scrappy trying to minimize everything, Brittany caught in the middle of a truth she never asked for. You made me look stupid, Brittany continued, her voice breaking slightly. Standing here defending you, trusting you, and whole time you doing this? Scrappy shook his head, almost desperate now. It wasn't serious. I'm telling you, it didn't mean nothing. That was the wrong thing to say. Shakira's expression hardened instantly. So I meant nothing? After everything you said? That's not what I meant, he replied quickly, but it was already too late. The damage was done. The family was left divided even more as people began speaking up, some telling Scrappy he messed up, others trying to calm Brittany down before things got worse. But nothing was calming down. Brittany wiped her face, refusing to cry in front of everyone. You know what hurts the most? It's not even her. It's you. You looked me in my face and lied like it was nothing. Scrappy tried again, his voice softer now. I didn't want to hurt you, she let out a bitter laugh. Too late for that. Shakira stood there, watching it all unfold, her anger slowly turning into something else. Maybe regret, maybe just exhaustion from being part of something so messy. But then she spoke again, and everything shifted once more. You told me you loved me. The room went silent again. Scrappy froze. Brittany's head turned slowly toward him, her expression unreadable now. You said what? You said what? That question hung in the air like it was too heavy to fall. Nobody moved. Nobody even breathed too loud. All eyes locked on Scrappy, waiting for him to either deny it or dig himself even deeper. Scrappy looked at Shakira first, then at Brittany, like he was trying to calculate which truth would hurt less. But there was no safe answer now. It wasn't like that, he said again, quieter this time, but even he sounded like he didn't believe it. Shakira let out a sharp laugh. You keep saying that, but you not explaining nothing. You told me you loved me. Don't sit here and play dumb now. Fans are shocked because the energy shifted again, and this time it felt final. There was no going back to confusion or mixed signals. This was clear, direct, and painful. Brittany stared at him, her voice barely above a whisper. Did you say that? Scrappy hesitated, and that pause answered everything. Brittany nodded slowly, like she was confirming something she didn't want to accept. Wow, so that's where we at. She turned away for a second, covering her mouth, trying to steady herself. You could see the moment it all sank in. Not just the betrayal, but the depth of it. Emotions ran high as Scrappy stepped closer again, lowering his voice. Listen to me. It wasn't real. I was just caught up in the moment. You know how things get. No, Brittany snapped, turning back around. Don't try to make this sound normal. Saying you love someone is not just being caught up. Shakira stepped in again, her voice steady but hurt. And you didn't look caught up when you said it. You looked serious. Scrappy threw his hands up, frustration building. So what you want me to say? Yeah, I said it, but it didn't mean it like that. Then how did you mean it? Shakira fired back immediately. He had no answer. The silence hit again, heavier this time. The family was left divided as people started reacting out loud. Some shaking their heads, others whispering, a few even stepping outside because the tension was too much to handle. Brittany took a deep breath, trying to pull herself together, but her voice still trembled. You made a choice. That's what this is. You chose to lie. You chose to sneak around. And now you standing here trying to downplay it like it's nothing. Scrappy shook his head quickly. I didn't choose her over you. That only made it worse. But you still chose her, Brittany replied, her voice sharper now. Maybe not over me, but enough to disrespect me. Shakira crossed her arms, watching him closely. And enough to build something behind her back. Fans are shocked because Scrappy looked like he was losing control of the situation completely. His usual confidence was gone, replaced by someone trying to keep two stories from falling apart at the same time. Y'all both twisting it, he said, his voice rising slightly. It wasn't that deep. It was deep enough for you to be at my house, texting me all day, telling me things you never told her, Shakira shot back. Brittany looked at him again, disbelief all over her face. Is that true? Scrappy hesitated again. That was his pattern now. Pause. Avoid. Deflect. And every pause hurt more than the last. We talked, he admitted finally. But it wasn't like I was planning a future or nothing. Shakira shook her head slowly. You literally said we could start fresh. You said you were tired of drama and wanted something real. I was talking, he said quickly. People say things. People don't say things like that for no reason, she replied. Emotions ran high as Brittany stepped back again, creating distance between herself and both of them. It was like she needed space just to think. So what am I to you? She asked, her voice calmer now, but colder. Because right now, it feel like I was just convenient. Scrappy looked at her, and for a second, he seemed genuine. You not convenient. You know that. Then why am I standing here looking like this? She asked. He didn't respond. Shakira let out a quiet sigh. This is exactly why I came. Because I'm not about to be painted as the problem when he the one telling two different stories. Brittany nodded slowly. You not the problem. Not anymore. That moment shifted the dynamic completely. For the first time, Brittany and Shakira weren't against each other. They were both looking at Scrappy, and that pressure was something he clearly wasn't ready for. Fans are shocked because the situation turned into something unexpected. Instead of fighting each other, the two women were now holding him accountable. Scrappy rubbed his face again, pacing slightly. This is getting out of hand. It'd been out of hand, Brittany replied. You should have thought about that before you got caught, Shakira added. He stopped pacing, looking at both of them. So what now? What y'all want from me? Brittany answered immediately. The truth, but I think I already got it. Her tone made it clear she wasn't asking anymore. Shakira looked at him for a long moment before speaking again. I don't even want nothing from you. I just needed her to know. That hit differently. Because now it wasn't about proving a point. It was about clearing her name. The room quieted again as the weight of everything settled in. Brittany folded her arms, her posture stronger now, like she was reclaiming herself piece by piece. You know what's crazy? I would have respected you more if you just told me the truth from the start. Scrappy looked at her, regret finally starting to show. I didn't want to lose you, she shook her head. You already did. That line landed hard. Emotions ran high as a few people in the background reacted, some whispering, wow, under their breath, others just watching in silence. Scrappy stepped forward one more time, his voice softer than it had been the entire time. Don't say that. We can fix this. Brittany didn't move. Didn't even blink. You can't fix something you kept breaking, she replied. Shakira looked away for a moment, almost like she didn't want to be part of that final exchange, but she stayed. Because this was the consequence of everything that had been hidden. Scrappy stood there, caught between two realities, both slipping away from him at the same time. And for the first time, he had nothing left to say. The tension didn't let up. If anything, it thickened, crawling into every corner of the room. Scrappy was frozen now, caught between trying to explain himself and realizing that no words could undo what had already been exposed. Brittany's stare was unwavering, her arms crossed, her body radiating a calm that contrasted sharply with the storm she had just weathered. Shakira's eyes burned with a mixture of anger and exhaustion, the kind that comes from repeating the same painful story over and over and expecting a different reaction. You really gonna stand there and act like everything's fine? Shakira demanded, stepping closer, her voice low but sharp. Like you ain't been lying to both of us this whole time? Scrappy swallowed hard. I ain't lying, he said, though the certainty in his voice had completely vanished. I was trying to figure things out. Figure things out? Brittany echoed, incredulous. You call sneaking around figuring things out? Fans are shocked because at that moment, the room felt like it was about to explode. Every eye in the house was on them, some leaning in, others slowly backing away, afraid to get caught in the crossfire. The whispers grew louder as the tension mounted. Scrappy ran his hand through his hair, pacing back and forth. Look, I didn't mean for it to get like this. It just happened. Happened? Shakira's voice rose, disbelief coloring every word. You're telling me this mess just happened? Like it's some accident? Brittany's face contorted with a mixture of pain and fury. You think saying that will make it okay? Do you even realize what you put me through? What you put both of us through? Scrappy stopped pacing for a second, trying to meet their eyes, but both women's stares were like daggers. He couldn't look at either of them without feeling the weight of everything collapsing around him. I don't know what to say, he admitted finally, his voice barely above a whisper. Shakira's tone softened just a fraction, though the anger was still present. You don't say anything. You just own it. That's the least you can do. Brittany shook her head slowly. Own it? You think just saying that fixes months of lies? Months of secrets? I trusted you. Scrappy took a deep breath, the kind that comes when you're cornered and realize there's no way out. I know. I messed up. I know I did. You know you messed up? Shakira shot back, incredulous. Scrappy, knowing ain't enough. Do you even know how much this hurts? Fans are shocked because Scrappy's usual bravado had completely vanished. The confidence, the charm, the slick excuses, all gone, leaving a man exposed in front of everyone he cared about and everyone who cared about him. I do, he said quietly, his voice breaking slightly. I do know. Brittany's eyes narrowed, her jaw tight. Then why? Why risk everything for something that wasn't even real? Scrappy looked down at the floor, unable to answer. Shakira stepped closer, lowering her voice but keeping the intensity. You need to understand something. This isn't just about us. This is about the respect you didn't show. The trust you shattered. It's about how your actions ripple through everyone around you. The room was silent except for the soft hum of tension, the kind that makes every movement feel magnified. Even the crew, who had seen drama unfold countless times, leaned in, sensing the gravity of the moment. Brittany's voice trembled slightly as she spoke. I don't even know who you are anymore. Scrappy looked up, his eyes wide, finally confronting the truth he had been avoiding. I'm still me. I screwed up. Screwed up? Shakira's laugh was bitter, almost hollow. Scrappy, this isn't a mistake you can fix with an apology. This is a mess you created, and now we're stuck cleaning it up. Brittany shook her head, stepping back. I don't want to be stuck cleaning anything up. I just want honesty. Is that too much to ask? Scrappy's shoulders slumped, the weight of their words pressing down on him. No, it's not too much. Then start, Shakira said. Start by telling us the whole truth. No lies, no excuses, nothing. We deserve that. The air was thick with anticipation. Everyone waiting, the cameras rolling, fans watching at home, and Scrappy, for the first time in what felt like forever, had nothing left to hide. He took a deep breath, his voice steady but low. Okay, the truth is, I was confused. I didn't know what I wanted. And I didn't handle it right. I talked to Shakira, I said things I shouldn't have, and I didn't tell Brittany because I didn't know how. Silence followed. Both women stared at him, absorbing the confession. Brittany's eyes glistened, Shakira's jaw tightened. The truth, finally out in the open, was brutal. Confused, Brittany repeated, her tone sharp. You call lying and sneaking around being confused? Scrappy shook his head slowly. I wasn't thinking. I wasn't smart about it. Shakira's voice cut through, steady and unwavering. Smart or not, it still hurt. And hurting the people who care about you. That's on you, Scrappy. That's all you. The weight of the room pressed down on him, and he finally realized that no more words could fix the bridges he had burned. Brittany folded her arms, her gaze unwavering. And what about us? What about our friendship? Our trust? Is that just gone? Scrappy looked between the two women, his face a mix of regret and helplessness. I don't know. I really don't know. Fans are shocked because the vulnerability he showed was rare, almost unheard of, and yet it didn't undo the damage. It only highlighted it. Shakira stepped back slightly, taking a deep breath. Look, I didn't come here to fight you, Scrappy. I came here so she could know the truth. And now she does. That's all I need. Brittany nodded slowly, still processing, her arms still crossed but her posture a little less rigid. I need time. To think. To decide if I can trust you again. Scrappy nodded, the reality settling in. I understand. The room remained tense, the echoes of their confrontation lingering in every corner. The crew whispered among themselves, the tension palpable. The fans watching at home were glued, emotions running high as every detail of the confrontation played out. Scrappy finally sank into a chair, the fight drained out of him. Shakira looked at him one last time, her expression unreadable. Brittany stood a few feet away, eyes still wary but thoughtful. The confrontation had ended, but the aftermath, the questions, the betrayals, the emotions, was only beginning. And in that room, with cameras still rolling, everyone realized one thing. Nothing would ever be the same. Scrappy's head dropped into his hands, the kind of exhaustion that comes not from physical effort, but from being emotionally cornered and having nowhere to turn. The room felt heavy, like the walls themselves were holding their breath, waiting for the next outburst that might finally shatter what little calm remained. Brittany paced slowly, trying to ground herself, while Shakira leaned against the wall, arms folded, her expression unreadable but her eyes sharp, piercing through the tension like daggers. You realize, Brittany started, her voice low but steady, that this isn't just about us, right? This is about respect, about trust, about not treating people like they're optional. Scrappy raised his head slightly, his voice hoarse. I get it, I really do. I thought I could handle it without hurting anyone. But I see now, I was wrong. Shakira shook her head, a small, bitter laugh escaping her. Wrong? Scrappy, you weren't just wrong. You were reckless, careless, and now everyone around you is feeling the fallout. Fans are shocked because the weight of the words wasn't just emotional, it was tangible. The kind of tension that leaves viewers glued to their screens, hearts racing as every interaction hangs in the balance. Brittany's voice softened slightly, though it still carried an edge. It's not even about being mad anymore. It's about what comes next. Can we even trust anything you say? Scrappy's eyes darted between them, searching for some kind of reprieve, some hint of forgiveness. I swear, I'll do whatever it takes to make it right. Do whatever it takes? Shakira echoed, disbelief sharp in her tone. You think promises fix months of lies? Months of betrayal? I don't know, Scrappy admitted, his voice barely audible. But I can't leave it like this. Brittany stopped pacing and looked directly at him, her tone icy. You can't leave it like this? You've already left it like this. Everything we thought we knew, everything we trusted, it's gone. You took that from us. The room seemed to close in around them. Friends and family, who had been standing quietly on the edges, whispered to each other, some shaking their heads, others trying to gauge whether this storm would pass or consume everyone present. Shakira finally spoke again, her voice controlled, deliberate. Look, I'm not here for theatrics. I'm here for clarity, for truth, and now, at least, that's out there. People know, she knows, and maybe that's all we need for now. Brittany's eyes softened for a split second, just enough to hint at the internal conflict she was feeling. Maybe, she said quietly, almost to herself, but I don't know if I can move past it yet. Scrappy sank lower into the chair, the fight drained from him completely. I get it, he muttered. And I don't expect you to, not right away. Fans are shocked because the rawness of the moment is undeniable. Scrappy, usually so confident, so untouchable, is now exposed, vulnerable, stripped of his usual defenses. Exposed, Brittany murmured, more to herself than to anyone else. That's exactly what you are. For everyone to see. Shakira stepped closer to him, but there was no aggression in her movements. Just a quiet firmness that made it clear she was done being manipulated. And maybe that's what you need. To see yourself clearly. To realize how far you've fallen in their eyes, in her eyes. Scrappy's voice cracked slightly. I wanted to do right by both of you. I never wanted it to get like this. But it did, Brittany said, finality in her tone. And now it's on you to deal with it. The room remained tense, a silence stretching out that felt almost unbearable. Everyone present knew the dynamic had shifted irrevocably. The laughter, the casual banter, the easy camaraderie, gone. Replaced with scrutiny, judgment, and a careful measuring of every word, every gesture. Shakira's eyes never left Scrappy. You need to understand, this isn't about drama or reality TV anymore. This is about the people you claim to care about the promises you broke, and the trust you shattered. Scrappy nodded slowly, his hands clasped tightly together. I understand, I really do. Brittany's voice softened slightly, though it still carried a sharp edge. And understanding it doesn't fix it. Actions fix it. If you want to make this right, then you've got to show it. Every single day, fans are shocked because the shift is subtle but powerful. The confrontation isn't over with words anymore, it's about accountability. About real consequences that can't be edited out or brushed aside. Scrappy leaned back, his gaze dropping to the floor. I'll do whatever it takes, he repeated, but this time there was less bravado, less hope in his voice. More reality. Shakira took a deep breath, letting some of the tension release, though the intensity in her eyes never wavered. We'll see, she said quietly. We'll see if you actually mean that. Brittany nodded in agreement, her posture firm but composed. Time will tell. Right now, you've got a lot to prove. The room remained heavy, everyone aware that the confrontation was over, but the aftermath would linger for days, weeks, maybe months. The emotional ripples would spread through friendships, alliances, and loyalties, leaving no one untouched. Scrappy sat silently, processing everything that had just happened. The two women stood, a silent partnership forming in their resolve, though the pain and betrayal were still fresh. And in that moment, one thing was clear: nothing would ever be the same. The trust had been broken, the secrets revealed, and the family, the friends, the fans, everyone, was left watching, wondering what would come next, and whether Scrappy could ever redeem himself in their eyes. The weight of the confrontation hung in the air, a reminder that actions have consequences, and lies, no matter how carefully hidden, always find a way to surface. The tension, the anger, the heartbreak, it was all real, all raw, and all undeniable. The room stayed quiet, but beneath the surface, the storm was far from over. Scrappy finally lifted his head, eyes bloodshot, jaw tight, realizing that every excuse he had clung to was gone. The room had no space for them anymore, it was just him, Brittany, and Shakira, the raw tension stretching across the floor like a wire ready to snap. Brittany's arms remained crossed, but her stance had shifted slightly, a subtle mix of caution and determination. Shakira's gaze never wavered, sharp and steady, like a judge ready to pass sentence on someone who had already admitted guilt. "So now what?" Scrappy asked, voice low, almost pleading. "Do we just pretend none of this happened?" Brittany shook her head, incredulous. "Pretend? After everything? You really think it works like that?" Fans are shocked because the vulnerability in his voice contrasted so sharply with the usual swagger they'd come to expect. The bravado was gone, replaced by a fragile, exposed man who had nowhere to hide. "I'm serious," he continued, "I want to fix this. I want to make it right." Shakira stepped closer, her voice deliberate, almost cutting through him like a knife. "Making it right isn't about saying the words. It's about actions. It's about proving you're trustworthy, proving you're not going to do this again." "Words don't matter anymore, Scrappy," Brittany finally spoke, her tone calm but cold. "And that's assuming you even can. Because once trust is gone, it doesn't just come back. You have to earn it, every day, every minute, every choice." Scrappy ran his hands through his hair, frustration evident. "I get it. I know. I didn't think it would get like this. I thought I could handle it, but clearly I can't." Shakira's voice hardened. "And that's the problem. You never think before you act. You just do, and then try to fix it after the fact." Fans are shocked because the room had transformed from confrontation to cold accountability. The stakes were higher now, the silence heavier. Every word Scrappy said, every move he made, was weighed, judged, and dissected by the two women in front of him, and by the cameras capturing every second. Brittany's gaze softened slightly, but her voice carried a piercing truth. "You're going to have to live with this. Not just with us, but with yourself. Because the lies, the sneaking, the betrayal, they don't just disappear." Scrappy nodded slowly, the reality settling deeper. "I know. I see that now. More than ever." Shakira folded her arms, her jaw tight. "You don't get to pick and choose when you want accountability. It's here, it's now, and it's permanent. This is what consequences feel like." Brittany took a deep breath, her tone quieter but firm. "And right now, all we can do is watch and wait. Watch how you act, wait to see if your words mean anything. Until then, you don't get to decide what comes next." Scrappy exhaled slowly, sinking deeper into the chair, the weight of their words pressing down. "I understand. I really do." Fans are shocked because for once, Scrappy's usual confidence had collapsed entirely. He wasn't talking about slick excuses or clever distractions. He was facing the consequences, and the magnitude of it all was crushing. Shakira's expression softened just slightly, the anger still present but tempered with a hint of resignation. "We didn't come here to destroy you. We came here for truth. Now it's out, and that's what matters." Brittany nodded slowly, her voice steady. "Truth is out. Now it's time for you to deal with it." Scrappy's eyes darted between them, realizing the gravity of the situation. I can't change what happened. I know that, but I can. I can try to make better choices." "Better choices?" Shakira repeated, incredulous. "You think words like that fix months of betrayal?" "I don't know if they fix it," he admitted, voice barely audible. "But it's all I've got right now. I can't undo it, but I can try to do right from here on out." The room stayed silent for a moment, the weight of his admission sinking in. Brittany's gaze softened fractionally, but there was still steel behind her eyes. Shakira's jaw remained tight, a clear sign she was still processing. Fans are shocked because this moment wasn't dramatic yelling or explosive confrontation, it was raw accountability. And in reality TV, those moments often hit harder than any shouting match. Scrappy leaned back, letting the truth of their words settle in. Every choice, every lie, every secret had led to this. And now, with the cameras rolling, with both women standing firm, there was nowhere left to run. Brittany's voice broke the quiet. "Just remember, actions speak louder than words. And right now, you're going to have to prove if you're worth trusting at all." Scrappy nodded again, swallowing hard. "I understand, and I'll try, I promise." Shakira's tone was final, leaving no room for negotiation. "Try isn't enough. You have to show it. And we'll be watching." Fans are shocked because the confrontation, though slowing, hadn't ended. It had evolved into a test, a gauntlet of accountability and trust. And Scrappy, for the first time, was facing the full weight of it. Brittany took a step back, giving space but keeping her eyes on him. We'll see what happens next. Because right now, nothing's decided. The trust is gone until you prove otherwise. Scrappy let out a long breath, the kind that comes when the fight is over but the aftermath still lingers. The room stayed tense, every person aware that the storm wasn't over, that the consequences of his actions were only beginning. Shakira finally moved toward the door, her posture stiff but composed. I'm leaving this here. You have your moment to think, Scrappy. Don't waste it. Brittany stayed behind, arms still crossed, eyes fixed. Don't even try to reach out until you've earned the right. Because right now, you don't have it. Scrappy nodded slowly, the weight of reality pressing in. The confrontation had ended, but the repercussions would last far longer than the cameras would capture. Fans are shocked because the fallout was only beginning, and the drama that unfolded in that room would ripple through relationships, alliances, and reputations for weeks to come. He sat there, alone in the moment, fully aware that nothing would ever be the same. The trust broken, the lies revealed, and the emotional scars were real and unavoidable. The confrontation had changed everything, and now, all that remained was reckoning. And in that quiet aftermath, Scrappy realized something he had never fully faced before. The truth, once revealed, has the power to leave a mark no charm, no excuses, and no promises can erase. The silence lingered, but it wasn't peaceful. It was heavy, thick, a reminder that the confrontation had left its mark, and nothing could erase it. Scrappy's mind raced as he replayed every word, every accusation, every look from Brittany and Shakira. He realized how fragile his position had become, how quickly charm and swagger could crumble under truth. Brittany finally broke the quiet, her voice calm but sharp. You need to understand the full scope of what you did. This isn't just about a lie or a secret. It's about respect, trust, and the people you claim to care about. You took all of that, and you treated it like it didn't matter. Scrappy swallowed hard, nodding. I see that now, more clearly than ever. I didn't mean to hurt anyone, but I did. And I know that. Fans are shocked because for once, Scrappy wasn't deflecting. He wasn't trying to smooth things over. He was cornered by the truth, forced to face the reality of his choices. Shakira stepped closer, her tone measured but cutting. You didn't just hurt us. You hurt the people around you, the ones who trusted you. And now, you're going to have to deal with that. Brittany's eyes softened slightly, but the edge in her voice remained. It's not enough to just say sorry. You have to show it. Every single day. Otherwise, don't even bother pretending you're going to fix this. Scrappy leaned back, the weight of their words pressing down. I understand. I really do. And I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make it right. Whatever it takes. Shakira echoed, disbelief in her voice. You really think promises fix months of lies and secrets? No, Scrappy admitted, his voice low. I know words aren't enough. I need to prove it. Actions. Not excuses. Not empty promises. Fans are shocked because the room, once filled with explosive emotion, had shifted into something even more intense, accountability. The confrontation had moved beyond drama into the realm of real consequences. Brittany's voice was calm but firm. And that's the only way you'll regain any trust, if that's even possible. You've got a long road ahead, Scrappy. And it starts now. Scrappy nodded, swallowing hard. I get it, and I'll do my best. I swear. Shakira's gaze softened fractionally, though the intensity never left her eyes. We'll see. We'll see if you actually mean that. Because right now, actions speak louder than words. And we'll be watching. Fans are shocked because the stakes had just escalated beyond the cameras, beyond the show. This was real, raw, unavoidable. Every choice, every move from this point forward would carry weight. Brittany took a deep breath, finally relaxing her stance just slightly. We'll see what happens next. Right now, nothing is decided. The trust is broken until you prove otherwise. Scrappy let out a long breath, feeling the crushing reality of it all. He realized that charm, excuses, and half-truths wouldn't save him anymore. The confrontation had changed everything, and the consequences were only beginning. The room stayed heavy, filled with unspoken words, lingering tension, and the awareness that relationships had shifted forever. The confrontation had exposed the truth, and now everyone had to navigate the fallout. Scrappy sat there, alone in his thoughts, fully aware that nothing would ever be the same. The trust, once broken, wouldn't return easily. The secrets revealed would ripple through friendships, loyalties, and reputations long after the cameras stopped rolling. And in that quiet, tense aftermath, Scrappy realized something that hit harder than any accusation. The truth, once exposed, leaves scars that charm and excuses can never erase. The air was thick, the room heavy, but one thing was certain. The confrontation had ended, yet the reckoning was far from over. Every choice from this point forward would be a test, every action under scrutiny, and every word measured against the trust he had shattered. He leaned back, head in his hands, the weight of his mistakes settling fully on his shoulders. Fans are shocked because they had watched the drama unfold, but now they were witnessing the beginning of a new chapter, one where the consequences of deceit were unavoidable, and redemption, if possible, would come only through action, not words. The room remained tense, a silent battlefield where trust had been shattered, lies revealed, and emotions raw. And as Scrappy sat there, reflecting on the fallout, one undeniable truth lingered. Nothing, not charm, not promises, not excuses, could undo what had already happened. The aftermath was real. The consequences were unavoidable. And every eye in that room, every person watching, understood that this was more than drama, it was a lesson in truth, betrayal, and the fragile nature of trust. Scrappy finally lifted his head, eyes red, voice barely audible. "I know I've got a lot to fix. And I will, I swear." Shakira and Brittany exchanged a glance, their resolve clear. Actions would speak louder than words. And for Scrappy, the road ahead would be long, difficult, and unrelenting. The confrontation had ended, but the reckoning, the fallout, and the test of trust were only beginning. Fans are shocked because the story, far from over, had shifted into a tense, high-stakes game of accountability. Every move from here on out would be scrutinized. Every choice would carry weight. And Scrappy, finally exposed, had no more excuses. The room stayed silent, heavy with tension, as the reality of the situation sank in. The confrontation had changed everything, and now Scrappy had to live with it, face it, and prove, if he could, that redemption was possible. The tension finally began to settle, but the weight of what had just unfolded hung in the air like a storm cloud that refused to pass. Scrappy sat silently, head bowed, wrestling with the truth he could no longer deny. Brittany and Shakira stood apart yet united in their resolve, their expressions a mix of caution, disappointment, and quiet strength. The confrontation had ended, but the aftermath, the questions, the betrayals, the heartbreak, would linger far longer than any camera could capture. Fans are shocked because what they thought was a simple drama had turned into a lesson in trust, accountability, and consequences that no one could ignore. Scrappy finally spoke, his voice low, full of remorse. "I know I messed up. I know I hurt both of you. And I'll do everything I can to make it right, if you let me." Brittany's gaze softened just a fraction, but the firmness remained. "Words aren't enough. You'll have to show it. Every day. That's the only way we'll know you mean it." Shakira nodded, her voice steady. "This isn't about punishment. It's about truth. It's about learning from your mistakes. We'll see if you're capable of change, Scrappy, but don't expect it to be easy. Trust doesn't come back overnight." Fans are shocked because for the first time, the drama wasn't just entertainment, it was real. Raw emotions, real consequences, and the stark reality that choices have power. Scrappy's charm and excuses had failed, leaving him to face the consequences of his actions, fully exposed. Brittany finally took a step back, her voice calm but resolute. "We're done talking for now. Think about what you've done, Scrappy. And maybe, just maybe, you'll learn what it truly means to earn someone's trust." Scrappy exhaled, the weight of reality settling fully on his shoulders. The confrontation had ended, but the journey ahead, of reflection, redemption, and proving himself, was just beginning. The trust broken, the secrets revealed, and the emotional scars were real and unavoidable. And now, viewers, the story doesn't end here. Scrappy's next moves, the choices he makes, and how he handles the fallout will determine everything. Will he earn back trust? Will Brittany and Shakira move forward, or will this betrayal define their relationships forever? If you want to see what happens next, you know what to do. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment sharing your thoughts. Do you think Scrappy can redeem himself, or is this the beginning of the end? Fans, your opinion matters, and we want to hear it. Stay tuned, because this drama is far from over.